confession. The reconciliation of the penitent. It is one of the greatest gifts the Church has to offer, and must never be entered into lightly. To do so is to participate in the pernicious sin of contempt of the holy.
On the floor? In the confessional, you dirty boy!
As a priest, we are privileged to minister this sacrament.
Get the hell out of my confessional!
You can't do that! Hey! Hey!
This profound act of blah, 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 blah. I hate it.
So, can you tell me how you got associated with the film?
Well, I actually met Matt at a SAG-AFTRA function when I first moved to LA, and he gave me his business card, and I had just held on to it. And then Mark, who's the cinematographer, had been brought onto the project and had mentioned, oh, the director's looking for a lead actress, and told me about it. And then I recognized him from that random night, like, I don't know, a year, maybe 2 years, when he had given me his business card.
So it wasn't the normal audition process. It was kind of a social kind of networking thing. Well,
I still had to audition. I still came in for, I think, a couple of reads for it, but that's how I kind of got the information about the audition. Because there are like thousands of people who submit for these roles.
Oh yeah. Does it get kind of cutthroat, the whole auditioning process?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can you tell me what's the most difficult or the toughest role you've ever had to audition for?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. The toughest, I can tell you about a really interesting one that was pretty tough. I'm on a Dungeons and Dragons show right now called The Dungeon Run, and that process was intense. We did several rounds. I think I came in 3 times, and it's all improvised, so there's no script. And so that was very nerve-wracking, but I'm so glad I got it.
When they ask you to improvise, do they ask you to improvise within the scope of a D&D series, or is it improvising whatever you are able to?
Are you familiar with RPG games?
Yes, I am.
Tabletop RPGs?
Yep. Used to play them when I was in my teens. Awesome,
yeah. So basically they just kind of like set out a campaign, and we were sort of placed in the world with these other random characters, and the only guidelines were just our environment.
That's a very interesting way to cast somebody. I've never.
Yeah, I think they kind of had to make up their own rules, because how do you cast a D&D show, But whatever they did, it worked, because we have, an incredible cast. I've never played with people more, interesting and fun and giving to play with.
On Surviving Confession, could you tell me some about your character and what her arc is in the film?
Well, she starts out antagonistic, for sure. She's sort of testing the limits, and she doesn't really have anything to lose, or so it seems. And I think Clay's character just shows like unending patience with her and unending compassion. And so that kind of brings out more vulnerability in her and her softer side. And so she finally gets to kind of tell somebody what's going on.
When playing a character like that, how do you get in the headspace of the character? What's your routine to get to where you need to be?
Um, I kind of do a combination of doing a lot of character work in using my imagination, what would somebody feel like if they were in this situation, but then I physically have to be where that character would be physically. So I usually don't eat all day if I have to be upset, because if my body is full, then my body is telling me, you're fine, don't be upset, you're fine, you just got food, be happy.
So you kind of have to be a method actor in a way for you to give the performance that you need to give.
Yeah, I'm like method acting physically, but emotionally I'm not method. I use my imagination.
So when the day's filming is over, you don't have to go through a process of detoxifying yourself of that character. You can just drop it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just having those moments of drama are very cathartic as well. So it feels good.
So acting for you is a bit of like self-help in a way?
It probably is for every actor. But yeah, those dramatic moments, I think I can definitely empathize with that character of just wanting someone to understand her and just wanting someone to hear her.
Do you know anyone like that in your personal life that you kind of draw off of?
Anyone like Amber, the character?
Yeah. Yes.
I think I drew from my youngest sister at the time. She's a different person now, but back when we shot that, she was younger, and so she was pretty angsty, and so I kind of imagined what she might be going through.
When I was talking to the director a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how you would kind of pitch this movie to an audience, and also to like the pure Flix kind of people, the people that are thinking that this film is something like God's Not Dead or something like that. Do you think if people that partake of those kind of films would be happy with Finding Confession, or would they be offended by it?
I'm not sure which movies you're talking about.
Pure Flix films are usually like God's Not Dead, like the more mainstream religious movies that like have Kevin Sorbo in them, or Kirk Cameron. Trying to think, I can't remember that many off the top of my head, really. War Room. The ones that are very, they're very politically charged.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. Like, I guess I couldn't really say, but I think, I don't know, we kind of had this feeling as we were shooting it that this would appeal to people who like Christian movies, but it pushes the limits a little bit. It's also accessible, because I think Clay is a fantastic actor, and I don't know, I personally, I am a Christian, but I can't really stand Christian movies because there's such a heavy cheese effect to me. But Clay is so good that he doesn't feel like that. He's so watchable that I think that he in himself just makes it more accessible, as well as the script.
Is there a particular scene in the movie that's your favorite, either yours or another actor's?
I just like all the times I tease Clay. We had a lot of freedom to get goofy with each other on set, and we had really good chemistry. So anytime I'm kind of making him uncomfortable or making fun of him was super fun. It's super fun to watch.
For those people that are out there that want to get into the film industry, if they want to be actors or writers or anything, what would be your advice to them?
A broad question.
We'll narrow it down. Just say they want to be actors.
I guess my advice is It's hard work, and you have to do the work in order to be prepared enough if you get lucky. Because I think success as an actor is preparation meets luck, meets talent.
So there definitely has to be. You can't. It's not something that like anyone out there can just immediately just do. There needs to be a certain level of talent involved.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think anyone can agree on that. I think like a more. I guess what I also think is. Oh shoot! I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? That I think a lot of people who come out to LA specifically, I couldn't speak for New York. They feel like they're entitled to success, and I felt that way too. I thought, well, I have a degree in theater, I have a degree in acting. Of course, I'm going to make it, and that's just not the case. And again, that goes back to luck meets being prepared. You can be so talented and so prepared, but unless you get lucky, you're not going to be successful. And the same goes for any other combination of that.
Since you have a degree in acting, how much of what you learned in school actually related to the real world once you got to LA?
I got a degree that focused more on theater. So I didn't get much preparation in the way of being a film actor, but that's also because I landed in LA kind of when the industry was being completely transformed by new media. So it was transitioning from submitting paper headshots to doing everything online and everything that comes along with that. So I don't know that I could have been totally prepared. But I did learn everything when I got here really fast.